Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Pro World Mixed Doubles. We've got round one modified best shot action, and we're on the back. Joan Supreme, Kelvin Heimburg, and Macie Velediaz making it look easy so far, and even easier is AJ Risley and I sitting here in the booth, giving you guys the action as we're heading over to hole number 5. What are they trying to do here?
Well, number 5, they're trying to keep it low under these canopies. There's a couple lines that they can take from this longer pad, but really they just want to keep it low, give the disc some speed, and play up into those 3 trees you see there on the right side of the screen. Short baskets FPO, longer baskets MPO. But yeah, something a little speedy that fades to the left at the end. You're going to see most players go on this right side.
Oh, and it just faded too much. It looked like a good line, but then kind of hooked up at the end to push her over into the tree. Or possibly short of the tree. Here's Heimburg, nice low shot. You got to worry about just that, the skip at the very end. That's where things dry up quite a bit. So Heimburg's going to be pushed into the bush there on that left side. Laying for the skip, asking for it.
Not much skip down there.
And you see there's a slight headwind, which really makes it interesting because, as you said, you're trying to keep the disc low, but then you have a headwind that typically lifts it. And Ella Hansen isn't worried about any of it.
Now she's, cutting right through the wind. Well, yeah, and also trying to get the disc to work back to the left. That headwind's going to make that real tough.
And Macie had a similar shot, and they couldn't get out, so they're at best looking at a par. Here's Conrad for birdie.
Dang.
Yeah, and that tree trying to scratch his back, but not doing him any favors. Quite the outstretched Hansen.
Solid putt.
She's doing work. Picking up James on a number of the birdie looks. And they're going to move to 5 under, and they're going to pull within 2. So 5 down through 10. Big shout out to all my Patreon subscribers. That's really the only reason we're able to get out here and get this footage as we move on to one of my favorite holes on the course, AJ.
Oh, yeah. Hole 6, an island hole. 315 feet playing over this nice clear pond here. A little bit of extracurriculars on top. But we've got relatively small green, and it kind of slopes away towards the water. And usually there is a bit of headwind on this one. This is it's just all about confidence and commitment and finding the right amount of spin within.
And James on the island safely out there in circle 2, which has to be a relief for Ella here, just knowing that not quite as much pressure. She's just trying to improve upon his shot, but she gets that one up in the air, and you need a net or a lure or something to bring that one back in.
That's good practice for me.
I don't think they were going to use that shot either way. I think they used her shots on the previous 2 holes.
You're exactly right. So
she just kind of made a free donation there. just in the sake of practice. Oh,
Yeah.
but Macie catches a branch, finds the water as well.
all pressure on Kelvin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that checks up. So Kelvin just outside of the circle.
Towel talk on hole 6.
We're talking towels here on 6.
Oh,
Personally, I like me a terry cloth. You know what I mean?
James, he prefers chamois, as some would say. See if he can he can chamois this disc right in the basket. Come on, James.
We need the payoff for AJ here in that setup. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Shame. Yeah. I don't know. So they're going to walk away with a par. Velediaz has a step putt lined up and cannon it. Did more than something. The jumper for birdie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The double flex. Gotta love. Good birdie there. Let's move over to 7. Big hole. 704 feet, par 4. OB fence on the right side. There's going to be that OB pond and a little bit of a creek, marshy area on the left side. And then this road, players are going to play downhill slightly, back uphill, play the second shot around these big cedars, try to navigate around them because as we've seen in the holes prior to this, being inside or under them is no bueno. Macie comes out just a little early. No turn, but a bush assist.
Yeah,
so she's in bounds.
Is it fair to say that kept her from going out of bounds? That it looked like it was definitely leaking out left side fairway?
Oh, yeah. So now Calvin can grab the eagle, rip it across the creek, just short of the road there.
That is the ideal plan. If you can get it to drift right, that's even better, but pushing it straight out and challenging this road is actually just about the perfect play. That road is definitely reachable by our pros, but you want to come up just short of it and get yourself up on as flat a ground as possible. You see a good shot there by Ella, but she'll have the hillside to contend with, somewhat of an awkward run-up. And it's not just straight uphill, and it's not at a perfect side slope. It's kind of a upside slope.
Oh, yeah,
so it makes it twice as difficult.
Yeah, it's the unique organic angle there of that hill. So bringing that road into play, that road is the highest point on the fairway, just like you were pointing out. So that's why you see those players try to push that side. James was really trying to get the distance on that one, but got a little bit of a turn. So this team's going to have to play from a little bit of a shorter position.
I mean, that's horrible for sure.
Looks like they do have a lane on the right side in between one of these cedars and that fence that is the OB boundary. And there's that little lane.
And you
James
hear the
puts it circle one.
The slow golf clap was coming from Calvin. He was very appreciative of just how difficult that shot really was, as Macie hovering or skipping right off the road there on the forehand. Calvin trying to improve on it. And puts himself right underneath the tree. So, difficult lie. And that's all part of this particular hole, is once you get up to the green, you're always going to be challenged by the trees that are surrounding it, because they're not just skinny little trees.
No, they are massive. They're like 50 feet wide almost.
So James gives them a look for birdie. Both of them off the top band. So you got to appreciate that they were, giving it a chance to go in, but not the right speed. Meanwhile, Macie doesn't connect from short range. And I was just thinking, as Kelvin's stepping up, thus far, we haven't seen his putter hit the ground. Any opportunity that he's had, with the pizza in the oven, so to speak. He's taking advantage of. We'll see if he can keep it rolling. Solid work by the Velediaz Heimburg combo. And really, you're not, I don't think you're mad with a par here on hole 7. I feel like it's a very demanding tee shot, and it's kind of a bonus birdie if you get it. But they cross the road and come over to 8. This one's a little shorter at just 423.
Yep, par 3. Going to play straight out here and then over to the right side. Shot's going to kind of hook a little bit to the right. It's a big ask for a sidearm, a little over 400 feet, but that's definitely the line of this fairway.
Yeah, and you're seeing us with our Ace Run Productions drone flyovers provided to those guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to their channel. The basket is up and to the right. Macie right now is heading toward the left side basket that's going to be in play for the second round. So Heimburg steps up with a forehand.
And he beats the last seeder, so they've got an open putt for birdie. Just about somewhere around circle's edge. We go James going envy on this hole.
Yeah, talking about if he can hit the right line, 423 feet. This is his putter.
Plenty of height.
Have the right angle and turn.
Yeah, looks good.
Answers, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
That's disgusting. Just so easy. So much height, as you said. That's not just a line drive at the basket. He's putting it way up there and having it fade from left to right. We're going to see Ella practice her roller. And it didn't stand up fast enough.
Headed for the pond. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
At least, what, a 500 and...
Yeah, something like that.
More than a 500-foot roller there.
Way out there.
So they have to go with Macie's here, even though Heimburg's much closer.
Right, yeah.
I say send it.
That's what we're all thinking, Calvin. But thank you for saying it for us, for the people. And she sends it all right.
She does, and that I like the...
Pretty decent run.
Yeah, pretty decent run.
Pretty decent
to
run.
Quote Macie. And look at that park job. Almost in the bullseye. And they're going to move to 6 under.
Remarkable throw from James there. Great intuition to know just how his disc is going to fight the wind and fade and just enough power to put on it.
Speaking of power, that hot boom sauce, that's all you need. You're
A little bit of protein in your life.
700 feet, like double G. You're going to need it on this one, aren't they, AJ?
Yeah. It's another big one. Hole 9, par 4, 682. A little bit shorter compared to the Dynamic Discs Open earlier this year. Players are still going to play from the top of that pond there, out over the valley, curl over to the right, up the little creek, dry creek bed, and then off to the right side is where you'll find the basket. We saw the FPO basket, the MPO baskets, maybe another 150 feet past that, but same kind of attributes.
Yeah, very
tucked into the
similar
right
line.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just more distance required. James putting down the roller here as we see that then run out of steam. I love the play.
Yeah,
Just a
great
matter of-
result right in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah. That's going to push toward the left side OB, but checks up safe.
That's good for our basket.
See what Calvin's creativity can bring us. Well, low line drive. Know that's.
Oh no, that tree. That tree.
Do you feel like that's a bad tree? I mean, obviously you'd rather not hit it at all, perhaps, but it kicked off to the left. I mean, it could have kicked off to the right, and I think it could have really put them out of position.
Yeah, I think it just it took a little distance off of that shot. That's all. But it did kind of. Yeah, I mean, maybe that kick left. Maybe that was a good kick. Kind of opens up the window a little bit. Because as we see here, Ella and James, they're tucked on that right side, so they're forced to throw something pretty tight into that basket. Not as much room for creativity.
And Ella's off to the left side, which from there, at best looks like a par in both of them, unless they have a throw in. That's what they'd be looking at. Here's Macie with the second shot. That's trying to keep up there, get up there. She says they got a putt.
Calvin finds a magic gap.
Yeah, unless you're right here, I don't think you can tell what you do.
Nonetheless, circle one. Ooh.
Yeah, that's not getting it to after I did 4.
James, I was going to say not quite with a green light exactly.
No.
More of a yellow light here. You can give this a somewhat of a bid, but you certainly don't want to, make your work coming back to try and save a par either. But this is uphill, so he's got a little bit of a backstop. Just the right amount of speed and barely misses that tree. That could have been disastrous and added more stress to their life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Ella showed James one of the only things to avoid, and
Calvin trying to keep the putter hot.
oh yeah.
There's just nothing you can say but dialed. I mean, he seems to be just right on point with every one of those putts.
You made some putts I don't think I would have made.
Yeah, I mean, like Calvin's saying, yeah, they've got a great combination. Calvin is cleaning up all the ones that he would expect and that we would expect him to make. And then Macie's just adding on, making some of these bonus putts as well. Even though she's missed a couple short ones, she's made some spectacular bonus putts. And here we have hole 10, another par 4, 724 feet. OB on the left side, nothing really on the right side, so you might see some big hyzers. The play here is to just find your way into the middle of the fairway off the tee. That's the FPO basket we're looking for. You can see the MPO basket in the top left corner. A little bit farther, but yeah, it's a standard 2-shot hole out here.
Oh, it came back.
Calvin's going for the low route up the middle, and he executes it very well. He definitely has the option to go big hyzer.
Looking at Ella trying to take the tunnel, so to speak, out of the play and just go out and around.
She might have found one of the trees on the right side, though.
And if somehow you missed it during the front 9 of this coverage, this is modified best shot, meaning a team cannot take the same person's drive off the tee 3 holes in a row. So if they were to play 2 of Ella's drives back to back on, say, 13 and 14, that means on hole 15, they must use James's drive, regardless if it's good or not or in bounds or not. They must use his drive. So you'd never see, 18 drives by the same person get used, as James almost rings that one up for eagle.
Wow.
And in second round, we're going to see yet again a different format, being alternate shot, where you'll see the women tee off on half the holes and play alternate from there, and you'll see the men tee off on the other half of the holes.
Since you were so keen on the Explorer, I was like, well, let's just make it in the middle.
I know.
Yeah, really a well-rounded test out here.
Yeah, I do love the format. We've seen a few different formats for the PDGA World doubles or mixed doubles throughout the years, but I feel like this one really helps prove that it's not any one person on the FPO or MPO side that can carry an entire team and do all of the work. You have to be well-rounded. So here's Ella for birdie. No problem. This plays is one of the easier birdie opportunities on the course. And Calvin, again, no problem.
Yeah,
Snack
all you got to
time
do is
even.
put that drive way down the fairway right in the middle. Makes the second shot real
It
easy.
certainly does. As they head to the next one.
Yep, hole 11, long par 3, but we're going downhill a little bit. But man, this one's tough. We got some big cedar trees on the left side, a couple oak trees, smaller. Well, no, those aren't oak trees. A couple smaller trees on the right side that really just make this super tight hallway on the first half of the fairway. If the players can hit that gap, then all they got to do is just keep it straight, keep it in bounds, and avoid the trouble on the perimeters. But yeah, there's a low gap, a really, really low ceiling that's almost a bigger gap. And then you can almost see in the middle of the screen off just to the right, there's this like V-shaped gap a little higher. Alvin pushing the limits of the ceiling on that low ceiling. Well
Yeah.
done with the eagle.
To have that much look at the basket, so impressive on this hole. I know it's 493 slightly downhill, but as you're saying, with the ceiling that you have to hit and then have the control so it doesn't flare out at the end. As Ella finds them on the right side, that looks like it might be trouble, but at least it's in bounds. And James pulled in by that left side tree line. They're playing from Macie's.
Freaking tripping this. There's a hole here, Cal.
Oh, no.
Just to let you know.
Thinking a whole lot about it now.
Good teamwork there.
Finding amazing people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely what you can chalk it up to. Good communication. Shared insights.
My freaking threw it straight.
That's the key to success. And yeah, James and Ella found themselves just right at the base of this tree, so
I feel like you could maybe try a
Hmm.
little touchy forehand roller.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something you do. That was my next best option because that shot I threw was really awkward.
for what it's worth, it was a pretty good shot.
Thanks. Did I get in the circle?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, James probably didn't realize just how good his shot was, and you hear him,
Well, yeah, and then I tried to make a tree pun, and I mentioned the wrong species of tree.
You said it's a really good shot. What
I
were you going
tried
for?
to say for what it's worth because I thought this was a Douglas fir.
Oh, that's too
But-
bad your jokes fail on multiple levels on
Yeah.
multiple days.
I'm just sorry that I had to drag James down with me on this one, but the universe has a funny way of working itself out, and we get to see a great shot from Ella there. Gives James and Ella a chance at a par save.
Yeah, par save here from circle 2. We're working for it. They sit 4 back of their card mates. And that is online. We've seen James, his putting hasn't been what we expect to see from James. He's usually so deadly, and today he's missed a few, so good to see that one right in the middle. Here's Macie.
Good try. Take us home.
So going to, again, apply the pressure here to Heimburg. You see just behind Calvin is the green of 12. That's where they'll be throwing to next. Full concentration mode here for Heimburg. Somebody put a clock on this guy? Okay,
Dead
bringing it up.
center. Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, you do need a clock because we don't want that pizza to burn.
No, you don't. Starting to bubble up on the top. I don't really like those little air bubbles. Don't do it for me.
Oh,
So leave it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, but leave it in the comments. We need to know what your favorite pizza toppings are. And cheese doesn't even count. Cheese is obviously on a pizza. There's nothing that gets me more worked up when people, I'll take cheese. Well, of course you'll take cheese.
I'll have some cheese on my pizza if you don't mind. If you have
always
any
have
extra.
cheese, okay? So you can ask for extra maybe, but you have to have cheese on it. Don't be an idiot.
Hole
All right.
12, 302 feet uphill, island hole.
Yeah, that's the left side pin. They're pushing to this slightly longer right side pin, and Macie just clears the long grass there, being out of bounds, but she clears it, and that gives them a look for birdie. Heimburg's going to go just a bit higher, but not by much. Gets a skip just short of the pin, and it flares. Had it skipped straight, it might have ran into the basket. So they're going to have options there. They'll have to see if anything's required of them and what they're going to need on the last hole.
Oh,
A little tree mac. I like it. I also like black olives, jalapenos. James. That just continues to kind of loft.
oh wow.
And then it hovered just over one of the final branches and then drops down right next to the pin. So all 4 players on the island green. And Vinny remains perfect with the putter, at least from inside circle 1. And what a solid round they've put together. They're 12 under. They've got 1 hole left to play. Ella and James also shooting pretty well. And they're at 8 under.
Yeah, just putting in work.
Moving on to the final hole of the first round here of the modified best shot. What are they trying to do?
What a beauty. 13 downhill, 466. There's going to be some OB on the left and right, sure, but really it's just this downhill shot trying to pierce your way all the way through this fairway into this little tunnel here, this little hideout in the trees where we find the basket. It's a long shot, and it just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter.
So both Macie and Calvin eligible to use either drive.
At the guy.
Calvin with a plethora of options. Can 3 be a plethora?
Sure. Sure.
I think of 3 as
That's-
being a few.
When it comes to distance drivers to choose from on hole 13, yeah, he's got a plethora and a right to left crosswind to deal with. A little low, that turn that he gets on it, that's gonna
Yeah,
the
look
wind's
like
gonna push that down a little bit.
exactly, and that's gonna what seemingly will take them out of position unless they're gonna have a long throw. And here's Ella. That needs to turn more, and that pushes off to the far left side. The green flag still gives them a look from over
I'm almost tempted to try to lay down
well
a
off
white
to the left.
roller or something in this one.
Yeah, consistent with the rest of the round. If one player has an inclination to do something, you bet their teammate's gonna encourage them to send it. So let's see if we can get a roller close to the basket here, James.
I'm so scared of these. God. I hate this so much.
And James not the angle he's looking for. And you know, you kind of hear him talking a little bit about the tee pads and thinking about how big his run up is, and then he's kind of concerned about falling off the edge of the. I mean, the tee pads are long and beautiful, like his hair, but he's still sometimes worried about when he follows through with all that power he generates. He's worried sometimes about falling off the end of some of those tees.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's a real concern. It's just a part of his game that he has to adapt to.
Calvin from long range. And it looks like they will finish with a 12 under. James has a look for the long birdie from Ella's, and it's just
Oh,
off
wow.
the top. What a bid. James getting into it. Thinking about that lunchtime show.
EJKJ, is that you?
And Ella's going to put it under the pin, and these guys are going to move in for cleanup. So I'm going to start cleaning up the round here and say thank you to AJ, along with my buddy Ryan. They were out here hustling around, getting all the action. And, well, if you don't want to know how things pan out, you should probably turn it off now. But here we are. We're back. And, yeah, this is going to be the hot round of round number 1. Macie and Calvin shoot the hottest round in the first round out of all competitors. They're 12 under. Ella and James will find themselves somewhere around the 3rd or 4th card. But 12 under is the hottest round right here on the Disc Golf Guy channel.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Ace Run Pro, PDGA, Dynamic Disc, and everyone else. They're going to go ahead and add up all the scores, make it official. But a bogey-free 12 under for Macie and Calvin. Hope you guys stick around. I've got actually an interview with Macie and Calvin after round 1. That's coming up right now. And after that, we'll see you guys for some round 2 action right here on the Disc Golf Guy channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Visit us on Patreon.
Later.
I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and we just completed round 1 at the mixed doubles here at the World Championships. And of course, you guys watched the top action. Macie, Calvin, guys, how did it feel out there?
It felt great. I don't know. We played really well together. We didn't have any bogeys, which is awesome. Yeah, everyone kind of just pulled through when we needed. Macie made some amazing putts, so it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Calvin threw some really far shots. You'll see that on there. Also, I think we didn't have any fours. We just had a 5 on the par 5, so pretty clean.
How do you feel about the score overall? I mean, of course, it's leading, but just how do you think that score is out on this course for what you guys saw?
I think it was a pretty good score.
Yeah, I think it was good. I mean, yeah, everyone's going to get in binds. And so, I mean, every hole is birdieable, but everyone's going to get in binds where, like, you have to take a certain person's drive, whether it's
Yeah.
mine or Macie's. And, like, and that can cause trouble, but we never ran into any of that trouble, so I feel like 12 felt really good, you know, not bogeying anything and then destroying the par 4s out here. It was good.
So my channel, unfortunately, won't see you guys as you head into the lead card, but what's kind of the game plan or what's your thoughts? Because very different, you know, format for the afternoon round.
Yeah, I mean, alternate shots typically where this tournament's won. It almost doesn't even feel like it matters where you end up here in best shot. It obviously helps, but I feel like a lot of times alternate shot, someone comes from like 4th card and wins because they're just playing really well. But yeah, it's just, you know, be smart, I think, and keep playing. We were throwing great shots out there, so we just keep playing the same way. I think we have a good chance.
We also were practicing out there as well. We found ourselves at the women's basket some, so we got some practicing while we were out there.
Perfect. Best of luck to you. Final question for you, Macie. How many times did Kelvin beg you to be his partner? What did that take? What kind of bribery was in place?
Honestly, I don't know why I came. Actually, he kind of drugged me here. So.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
no,
you dragged him along
I
into
actually asked him, so.
All right. You didn't have to tell us all that. All right. Well, we're gonna again wish them the best of luck. That's Calvin and Macie. Thanks for watching.